Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you a different notepad. This one is actually via OfficeMax, and it's the college rule as well. But remember, I said always watch the sizing. This one is an 8.5 by 11. The pen and gear is an 8 by 10.5. Okay, so this one is the full sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. So we're gonna do this one, and we're gonna be using the pen and gear, the white glitter cardstock. This is the diamond print glitter. Now, this particular cardstock is specifically made for inkjet printers. So please, please, please don't go to the crafting section and just pick up glitter cardstock and think that's going to work. It's going to tear your printer up because that glitter, when you move that paper around, the glitter comes off and that can mess up your printer. Okay. This glitter does not move. They've adhered it to the paper so it doesn't, come off in your printer. So you want to make sure I ordered this. I have it linked in the description of my video tutorials because most of my crafting projects that are products that I use are in the description. If you guys didn't know that, always check the description and you'll find a lot of links to where I get a lot of the things that I use. But I'm pretty sure this is linked. I'll double check. If not, I'll make sure it is in there on this tutorial. But I got this off of Amazon. This is, you get 10 sheets. It's 104 pounds. This is the white. Again, you want to look for diamond print glitter, okay? And it specifically says for any, hopefully you guys can see that, for any inkjet printer, okay? So this is what we're going to be using today. We're going to use the full sheet on our cardstock, okay? You're also going to need a 12 by 12 cutting mat so that it can cut the holes for you. Now, if you have a hole puncher, guys, and the hole puncher is small enough for you to get the holes in there, then use the hole puncher. You don't have to use the cutter. Um, I'm not, I'm not. Hold on, guys. I have a hole puncher, but I also have a Cricut maker, and I'm going to let Cricut do what it's supposed to do. Okay. I also have a Cameo 4. So since I have a cutting machine, I'm going to have it to cut the holes for me. I also, the templates that I referred you to, guys, on my last video tutorial for the pen and gear, I did go ahead and purchase those templates for the notepad. So I'm going to be using one of those just to see if it works and how it cuts. The holes looked a little wonky when I, brought it up, but if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then hey, it's a blessed $3.80 and life goes on. But I'm going to use the template that I referred you guys to. And if it works, I'll leave it in my description. If it doesn't work, then I will look for an alternative for you guys. But you want to make sure that if you're using the OfficeMax, if you're using OfficeMax Notepad College Rule, you want to make sure that you size up to 8.5 by 11 for the template. Okay, on the pen and gear is 8 by 10.5. So pen and gear is a little bit smaller than this. All right, and for time purposes, guys, those two pieces of wires at the top and the bottom, I've already snipped that little banded one so that I can make this video tutorial quicker. But if you need to see the process on that, guys, go back to my previous video on the pen and gear notepad. If you need to see that part of the process. But other than that, guys, we're going to jump into, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be uploading this image into Cricut Design Space. No. I'm going to upload this image into Microsoft PowerPoint because I don't want to have to worry about the registration marks with Cricut. I don't need none of that. which will then make me have to use 11 by 17. So I want to show you how to do this in Microsoft PowerPoint, guys. If you have another software alternative where you can upload images in print, Microsoft Word, then use that, okay? But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to upload my image in Microsoft PowerPoint. Then I'm going to upload that template, which I have it already ready to go, that I purchased or yesterday. I'm going to upload that template, make it an 8.5 by 11, and then I'm going to have Cricut to cut out all those 42 holes because I'm not going to be using this. And also, you have to make sure you have the right size hole puncher. This hole puncher is too big, 42 holes, so it definitely wouldn't work for me. But you can purchase hole punchers, guys, and still do this project if you don't have a cutting machine. Okay? All right, so let's get started. All right, guys, here I am inside Microsoft PowerPoint. And so if you're new to Microsoft PowerPoint, guys, one of the reasons I like to use Microsoft PowerPoint is because I already have it. So I don't have to go and get a new subscription to any other software or anything like that. So that's why I like to use it a lot. And I can print larger sizes without having to worry about registration marks and all that kind of stuff using Microsoft PowerPoint. If you are using Microsoft PowerPoint for the first time, and let's say that you came into Microsoft PowerPoint and you had something that looks like this or similar on your screen, to get just a blank screen to work with, just right click and you're going to select layout, and then you want to choose this blank option. And then going forward, when you add a new slide, you right click and add a new slide. It's going to give you a blank slide instead of one that has the presentation information on it. All right. So we're going to start out, guys, in Remove BG. So this is the supplier, Fresh Creations, that I got my 42 hole punch template from. So we're going to test them out for the first time, okay? So I'm going to go here to remove BG, and I'm going to remove the background from the image that I'm going to be working with, okay? So we're going to select upload, and I think I'm going to do this image today. All right. So it removed the background for me. Now, guys, one of the things, if you're new to remove background or BG, I'm going to show you how you can go in and add a background that's more suitable without having to go to other software to find backgrounds and things like that. So once you do that simple remove background, you're going to click on edit, and then you have all of these backgrounds down here that you can actually apply to your image by simply clicking. So all you have to do is just kind of click and you can determine which one of these backgrounds you like. If you don't want to add a photo background, you can also select this tab for color, and this will just give you different colors if you just want a solid color. But I want a photo. So I'm going to click and see. Oh, that's pretty. That background is pretty. I want something with a little color in it, just a little splash. Oh, I like that. I kind of like that little pink right there on the end. All right, so I got that one. Oh, that one is pretty. So you can choose any of these backgrounds, guys. And the good thing about Remove BG is that it's free. You don't have to pay for it. And it's very easy to use, very user friendly. I like that background too. It's very user friendly, as you can see here. Oh, that's pretty. Now this image that I'm working with is an image that I created in Midjourney using the Discord server. I think I like that one too. Yum, 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 yum. Let's see. It's between that one. I think I like this one. All right, so when you find a background, just click on download, and then you're going to download the image. Okay. And now we can go into Microsoft PowerPoint, and we're going to click on Insert Pictures. And this image is on my computer, so I'm going to go to my downloads because that's where Remove BG is going to put that image. And here it is here. And we're going to insert, and there's our image. Okay. So we're going to size this. I'm going to go ahead and right click and say size and position. And we're going to deselect here on the right under the format picture option. We're going to deselect this lock aspect ratio because if you don't, it's going to continue to change it to height and width depending on what you put in. So if you put in a number for the height, it's going to adjust the width to keep it, proportionate to height. But we're just going to manually type ours in. So we know that we're working with the 8.5 by 11. So we're going to type in 11 for the height, and then we're going to do 8.5 for the width. So it's going to take up that full sheet of paper. Okay. Now, if you need to go into Microsoft and adjust your size for the background, not the image, but your background that you're working with, you're just going to go to Design, Slide Size, Custom Slide Size, and this is where you're going to put in your width and height for your slide, not the image, for your slide. Okay. So if you were working with the larger image, let's say 11 by 13, you would type in your 11 by 13 and hit OK and go from there. Okay, but mine was already set at 8.5 by 11, so we're good. Now that we have this image sized at 8.5 by 11, we have our background removed. We replaced the background. Everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and we're going to print this out. All right, so we're going to go File, Print. And you want to make sure if you have multiple images in that deck that you're on the slide that you want to print out. Okay, so here we have the 8.5 by excuse me, we only want to print this one image. So under settings, we're going to say print current slide. You could just do the drop down. If it's on all slides, you could click that drop down and select print current slide, and it'll print only this particular slide. Okay. The other thing is I'm using the HP OfficeJet Pro 7740, which prints up to 11 by 17. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my settings. I want it to come out on the plain tray. For glitter cardstock, I just use plain paper as my option. And then for the layout, I'm going to go to Advanced. And this is where you would adjust your paper sizing, guys, if you needed to. So I'm using letter size, but if I was using 11 by 17, then I would select tabloid, but we're going to leave it on letter. And let's see what else we're going to change. We're going to leave it on color. And let me see if it'll let me print borderless printing. Let me see what that looks like, if it'll work. It may not. I was trying to get it to get rid of this little white edge. Let's see, try one more time. Borderless printing on. Okay, there we go. So I took off the border because I didn't want that little white going around my image. If you like that, then fine, but I want to take up all of the real estate on the 8.5 by 11. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and print this out. So I'm going to come back up on, I'm going to hit print. I'm going to come back up on screen so we can finish the process together. All right, guys, so I have my glitter cardstock. This is my HP OfficeJet Pro 7740. And this is my Sublimation printer. That's the Epson Workforce 7720 with the double trays. This one has been discontinued, but I absolutely am so glad that I got mine before they discontinued them because I love my Epson. Never had any problems with it. Let me knock on wood. All right, guys. So I have my glitter cardstock, and I'm going to put the glitter side face down. And you guys can see I can do whatever I need to this glitter cardstock, and it's not going to have the glitter particles come off. So I'm going to go ahead and put this face down into my printer. And I'm going to go ahead and hit printer or print for my image to come out. So you will see the full thing here together with me. I'm trying to get this video done before church service. All right, so while that's printing out, just a couple of key things again, diamond print, white glitter cardstock. You can get this on Amazon. I'm going to link it in the description if I haven't already done so. I'm pretty sure I have. This video is on the OfficeMax College Ruled Notepad, which is 8.5 by 11. So it's the full sheet of glitter cardstock. We're doing this in Microsoft PowerPoint so that we don't have to worry about using up a full sheet of 11 by 17 because Cricut is not going to allow you to print that on 8.5 by 11. It's going to make you change the sizing of your paper to 11 by 17. And I don't know what I did, but I clicked the wrong slide, y'all. Why y'all didn't tell me? Y'all just had me mess up a whole sheet. Let me go back and fix this. It looked like it was on the right thing. Okay. We are going to make sure that we don't make that mistake again. I'm pretty sure I had up the right thing. I don't know how this, which is the video thing, got printed. Jesus. All right, y'all. Y'all might not want to follow me. I'm just kidding. Follow me, please. Follow me. I know what I'm doing. All right. Somehow I clicked off. So we're going to go ahead and put our paper back in. All right. Now we are going to hit print. And I know I am on the right slide. So if the wrong thing prints out this time, I'm going to kill HP for ruining my beautiful cardstock. I love this cardstock. And actually, guys, I forgot I even had it. You know, as a crafter, content creator, you get so much stuff and you forget all the stuff that you have until you start going through stuff. And it's like, oh, I had the glitter cardstock, which would be perfect for this project. I know it's printed right this time because it's taking longer. Oh, it looks so pretty. Y'all look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my God. It looked much better than that, don't it? All right, so this is our image that we just printed out. We used the full sheet of 8.5 by 11. So I'm gonna let this kind of dry a little bit because it does, you can, with that glitter cardstock. So we're gonna take our 12 by 12 mat. And what we're going to do is I'm gonna place this at the one width and height, the 1 inch mark width and height on my mat. So I'm going to start my image right here. Okay. So I'm going to come down one and over one. That's where I'm going to lay my image. And I'm going to move the image in Cricut Design or the template in Cricut Design Space to start there as well. That just helps me to know that I have full control over where Cricut starts to cut. Because if you leave it on the position that Cricut puts it initially, your cut's going to be kind of off, and you don't want that. So we're going to start it right at that 1 inch mark, just like that. Okay, come down one and over one, and that's where we're going to start our cut. All right. I'm just trying to make sure it's on here good. So now I'm going to take and put this into my Cricut Maker, and I'm going to have Cricut to do the 42 holes with the 3 holes to line up with our notepad. Okay, so I'm going to go over and have Cricut to do its thing. All right, that's where we'll go. All right, guys, we are in Cricut Design Space. We're going to go ahead and upload the template that we're going to be working with. This is the new template from the new supplier that I referred you guys to on yesterday. I want to see how it works. We're going to click on Add to Canvas. Now, when it comes in, I can tell right off the bat that these holes are more oblong than oval. So that's going to be one of the differences here, but it's still 42 holes. We should be able to get it in with no problem on this OfficeMax because it's still 42 holes, which is just going to have to make sure we line it up perfectly. So the OfficeMax notepad is 8.5 by 11. It's the full real estate of your letter size. So we want to make sure that we change our size to 8.5 and our width to 11, our width to 8.5 and our height to 11. Once you get that in there, we're going to go ahead and lock those proportions back just by clicking on that lock. And now we have our full 8.5 by 11 size here. I'm going to shrink this down so you can see the full thing. Okay. Once you get that done, you're going to click on attach, and that's going to bring everything together, all these little bits and pieces, and keep everything in order. So now we're going to go ahead and click on make it. And because we are going to be moving this template over to a starting point of 1 inch by 1 inch, that way we can make sure our holes cut perfectly. We're going to have to use the 12 by 24 mat. Initially, I said the 12 by 12, but we're going to have to use the 12 by 24 because when you're using the 12 by 12 mat, your cut size is only going to be, you're only going to be able to cut between 11.5 and 11.5. It's going to cut off a 0.5 before the actual size of the mat. So if you're using the 12 by 24, then your cut size would be 11.5 by 23.5. So we're going to have to use the longer mat. So I do apologize for that. But we're going to be using the 12 by 24. And then that's all you have to do is just move your template over to the 1 by 1 mark. And then you don't need to do anything else. We're going to go ahead and click on continue. And I'm going to be selecting glitter cardstock. Okay. And with the glitter cardstock, it's going to cut twice. So I'm not going to have to change default. If you change this to more pressure, guys, it's going to be cutting 4 times. So you don't need that. Just leave it on default. And Cricut is going to cut twice to make sure that it cuts through that glitter cardstock because the glitter cardstock is a little bit thicker. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this into our Cricut Maker and let it do its thing. All right, so we've done everything we need to do here. We're just going to line up our image on our 12 by 24 mat to that 1 by 1 starting point, and then we're going to go ahead and load that 12 by 24 into your cutting machine and let Cricut or Silhouette, whatever you're using, cut it out for us. All right, guys, here we are at the Cricut Maker. You can see that I changed and put my image on a 12 by 24 so that we can get down to that 12-inch mark. You won't be able to do that on the 12 by 12 mat. So we're going to go ahead and put this in, and we're going to see how this template cuts because this is the first time I'm using this particular template. From Craft Creations. All right, so we're going to let this, as you can see, it's starting to cut. We're going to go ahead and let it do its thing. Now, when I choose glitter cardstock, it cuts twice, and that's because it's making sure that it cuts through that glitter cardstock. So I don't have to tell it to cut twice. It's going to automatically do that. All right, so I'm going to let this run and do its thing, and I'll leave it on. If you want to fast forward past this, you can, but if you want to watch the whole thing, then feel free to do so. But I'm not going to be talking or anything. I'm just going to let Cricut do its thing. about that, guys. My whole camera just almost fell on me. This thing right here, I'm glad I was able to catch it so you guys don't miss it. I actually have my charger cord going across here, and so I hit the charger cord and it knocked my camera thing down. Alright, now it's acting like it's cutting out the 8.5 by 11, but we know that we've already sized this to 8.5 by 11, so it's really not cutting anything, guys. But if you had a larger sheet of paper, this is where it would go and cut the around the image for you. But you don't have to worry about it messing up your mat, because it's not gonna cut through this mat at all, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's so pretty. All right, it's done. So I always tell people, before you take your image off or unload, always make sure that your cuts are there, because chances are you're not going to be able to load this back up to the right sizing. So we're just going to lift this up a little bit, and we can see that our cuts did come through like they're supposed to, so we can go ahead and unload our mat. All right, she's cut. We're going to go back over to my workstation, and we're going to go ahead and get this on the OfficeMax College Ruled Notepad. All right, guys, so here is our image. It has been cut out for us, the 42 holes. So I'm just going to take and pull this up off of my mat. I'm going to show you guys here. So I'm just going to roll my mat backwards so that my image stays straight. So I'm rolling the mat backwards. And you can see that's where our 42 holes were. So I'll clean that off once I'm done. But now we have our 42 holes, and it seems to have cut fine, guys. So even though it said laser print, it cut just fine here. Somebody was telling me in the comments that this was for the Glowforge and something else. So the holes, so everything did cut fine. Even though the holes looked a little wonky in Cricut Design Space, I think we're going to still be good. I noticed that these holes are a little bit more kind of like squarish, kind of. I can't explain this shape, but I think we'll be fine. Instead of just little round holes. All right, these are round holes, but these are a little bit more different looking. That's all I'll say. Different looking. All right. So what we're gonna do now, guys, you're gonna take your OfficeMax, or if you're using Pen and Gear, you're gonna have these first two pieces of metal wire. They're gonna have a little part that's bent connecting them. You're gonna take some wire cutters, and you're gonna cut that little bend so that you can free up. Let me see if I can get this better on here. So you can free up this top loop here, right here, so that it's just straight. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut that loop on the bottom. You want to remove that, guys, because then that's going to free up you to be able to take the front and back. If you're doing the front and back, I'm just doing the front. covers off. Okay. So once you use your wire cutters to cut that bend off, and you freed up that first wire at the top and the bottom, you're going to use one hand. I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, I would suggest use your left hand, but then use your other hand to start turning that wire. And as you turn that wire, notice it's going to start coming out. Okay. So it's going to start coming out here, and you can go up or down, whatever. This book is old, guys. That's why I'm using it, so I can go ahead and get rid of it. So you notice the wire is coming out. See? I'm just spinning it until I get it all out. You want to make sure you keep those holes where you can see straight through, because that makes it easier to get it out. All right, so I'm going to see if I can speed it up here. And you're just going to continue to turn. Continue to turn, and it's coming out. This notepad has been through war, guys. I think I might have used one sheet of paper out of it, but I have so many notepads, because normally when I see them, I just grab them up. You know how we do as crafters. I'm going to hold it down because my arm's getting tired. Y'all know I'm old. All right, we're going to keep going here. Did we get it all out? Here we go. Still coming. Make sure your holes are lined up. That makes it easier to get it all out. All right, there's our wire. And then we're going to take off that top cover. And then you're going to replace it with your notepad cover that you just created. So line up those holes, which is what I'm doing. It works perfectly, guys, even though the holes are looking a little different. It's look like it's lining up here. Let's see. All right, so the middle holes look a little bit wonky, but the smaller holes are fine. It's no deal breaker, only because we're not going to need those middle holes anyway. So you're going to take it after you line it up. I know I'm trying to keep my hand going here. After you line those holes up, you're going to take and put your wire and start looping it back through, just like you took it out. So I'm going to have to really play around with this. There we go. All right. I'm trying to make sure I keep everything where I can see the holes going straight through. All right, so once you get it lined back up, you go ahead and thread that wire through the very first hole, and then start turning just like you did when you took it out. So you can see how it's starting to go back in. And just make sure that you're feeding it through every hole, guys. Let me try to bring it down a little bit. If you're not feeding it through every hole, it's going to cause you problems getting it all back in. So I'm just making sure that I continue to have it go through every hole. All right, so you can see starting to get it back on. And I'm just making sure that everything is lined up so that it will go through like a champ. There we go. It's hard for me to see because I'm trying to make sure I got my back, that I'm looping that back wire in like it's supposed to be. So make sure you have a good visual, because if you miss a loop, it's going to cause you problems. So it's better to make sure you got everything right as you are putting it back in, because then you might have to circle back onto a missed hole. All right, so you can see it is going through fine. So like I said, this template, the holes are not really oval. They're a little bit oblong maybe. Right. There we go. So I don't like to refer people to use stuff if I haven't used it myself. So that was the reason I went in to use this template, so I could see if it works. And now I know that it works, but the holes are just shaped a little differently. But you can still get it lined up. Alrighty. Continue to feed through. There we go. Every time I get it. Every time I get it. Keeps hitting the edge of the paper right there. There we go. All right. There's one little spot right here that doesn't want to act like it's lined up, even though it is. There we go. Go back. And backside. There we go. All right. I get it. And then I miss it somehow. There we go. All righty. Just continue to work with it until you get it back in. I think it's because this bottom down here was a little bit wonky. Like I said, this notepad is old and it's been through war. All right. I'm going to take it back and bring it forward. I probably could have did this a little bit easier if I would have been at my other table over there so you guys can see better. But I'm using my laptop camera. That was the purpose. Okay. There we go. All right. Spin, spin, spin. I will say that um you're going to have to really, if you use this template, you're going to have to really work with the holes. All right. It's acting wonky on that bottom, so it's causing me to spend more time. I normally would have this in by now and have finished this video, y'all. But sometimes you get challenges, and I'm going to work through it so you guys, if you're faced with it, can do the same. Just making sure. It's just this one little area that is causing my head to hurt. There we go. Don't be messing up my picture now, thingy. Come through. Oh, I want you guys to see it. So it's like one little area right there that it keeps getting stuck on, but it's going all the way through, and I don't want to rip my card stock. So I'm trying to shift this down just a little bit. There we go. Hold it. All right. I don't know why it keeps. Let's see if I can get it tight right here. All right. There we go. I get it, and then it flips back to the other side. So I'm just going to hold this really tight so that it doesn't move. And we'll get it in, y'all. We are going to get it. All right. I think I need to shift the, it's not the paper or the holes, it's the, I'm going to get my wire, not wire cutters, but my needle nose pliers. I need to fix the bend on this wire because it keeps getting stuck. Right. It'll go through and then it'll flip back. Give me 1 second. I'm going to work with this piece of wire right here because it's kind of bent. See if I can straighten it to go, get it to go straight. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, I know when I'm working hard because my glasses start uh acting like they want to slide off my big old face. All right, we're gonna get it, guys. Okay, it's moving a little bit better now than it was. There we go. All right, let's keep going. All right, we're almost there. I'm just trying to make sure my wire is going completely through everything. All right, here we go. Woo, I had to work for this one, y'all. I might need to go back to the pen and the gear. Because this one is truly got me working. But what we don't do is we don't give up. We do not give up, but we learn what works best. And you guys can see I'm almost there, working it. But our holes are lined up, guys. So don't think that the holes are not lined up. I want you guys to be able to see. Hopefully you can see that it is going through there. There's only one, and I might punch that out myself. But these holes lined up perfectly. That one looks a little wonky, like crazy to me. And I don't know why, but everything else lined up except that one little hole, center hole at the bottom. But that one doesn't matter because we're not putting anything through it. but we may be able to, once I get this right here through, we may be able to take a look and see what's going on with it. All right, let's get that through. It's like the metal keeps bending. All right, got it through the paper there. Keeps trying to do its own little thing. You gotta do what doors tell you to do. Okay, Pat. All right, there we go. Almost there. See how it goes through and then it comes back. So I'm having to hold it super tight. There we go. So the name of the game on this one was hold this baby super tight. If you don't, it is trying to shift back downward. So I'm making sure that I get it through every last hole like it's supposed to be. Taking me a little bit longer than I normally would like, but it's not going to stop or deter me because this image is too pretty. I will have this pad with me at every meeting because it's too pretty. Alrighty. There we go. It's like the closer I get, the more it's like, yeah, I don't want to go. So I'm having to really work that last little area, making sure I get every hole, just like I'm telling you guys. I got to make sure I work every hole. Alrighty. You can see it on one end. Oh yeah, I did not want this video to be this long. But sometimes stuff happens, guys. And I don't want you guys to think that we as content creators never run into issues because we do. And I could very easily stop this and then be like, okay, it's all done. But you didn't see the struggle that I had with it. All right. One. There we go. All right, let me turn it around and see if I can see it this way. Because obviously my vision is wonky on this side. Because I keep thinking I got it. And then it's not moving. There we go. All right. So it's like, grab it and go, girl. Grab it and go. Don't give up. It's the name of the game. There we go. All right, I'm going to have to free it up down here at this bottom because it's like, this is the part that seems like it's not wanting to go and it's throwing off my top up here. But we're going to get it. You know how you see the end and you're like, I'm right there. I'm right there, literally. You guys can see I only have just that little bit to go. So I'm having to continue to free this down here to get it to go up here. There we go. Moving a little bit easier. For some reason, it didn't want to move on this bottom. And I made sure I got every hole, so I know it's not that. It's just old notepad. All righty. There we go. Oh, guys, we're almost there. I'm just continuing to move that because right in here is where it feels like it's kind of wonky. So I'm just continuing to play with it to get it to go up. We're almost there. The end is near. The end is near. Don't give up, guys. All right, continue to move this side down here. Get it to turn up here. So now for those of you that have said that you got stuck, you can see how I'm continuing to progress. Don't give up. The end is near. We got three holes left. So I'm turning it at the bottom to free it up towards the top. And we got two more holes to get through. And we'll be done. And we'll be able to say, do we use this template again? Maybe not. The more you use it, the better at it you'll get, but do I want to waste that kind of time? All right, one more hole, guys. I'm gonna free it up down here at the bottom because this is the part that seems like it's a little lost in the sauce. And then it frees it up towards the top to spin easily for some reason, but it should not be that way. Trust me, it shouldn't. I've done enough of these to know that it should not. But I think it's a combination of old notepad and template. All right, there we have it. We made it to the top, guys. We made it to the top. And we didn't give up. We didn't stop. I'm a rapper. Y'all didn't know that? I am a rapper. All right. So that last little hole, guys, is the paper is torn up there because remember I told y'all it's an old pad. But I'm gonna bend it the best I can to get it back in there. All right, there we have it. Y'all see it is on there. I'm gonna go ahead and bend this top. I'm gonna connect these bottom two and the top two using my needle nose pliers. Okay, so you want to connect that bottom wire. You want to bend it so that it cannot spin freely. So I'm just going to take and use my needle nose to bend that wire and connect it to that first wire to connect it to the second wire. You know how you say that? Leg bone connected to whatever it is. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it and bend it to connect it to that, connect it to that second wire. And you're doing this again so that it cannot be turned. So it can't be turned. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. All right, we got the bottom done and reconnected. And now we're going to do this top wire. You're going to connect the top wire, that very top wire, the first one to the second one. You want to get them connected so that they cannot spin freely. All right, there we have it. We have connected it back together. All right, so now we can open our notepad, free and clear, and do whatever writing or whatever we want to do. And it looks gorgeous. All right. All right, so this again, guys, is the 8.5 by 11 notepad. This is the OfficeMax notepad. This is not pen and gear. Okay. This is OfficeMax 8.5 by 11. Always watch your sizing. This is not the 8 by 10.5. All right. So you guys can see we got it all lined up here. Y'all see that? Looks nice and neat. Like I said, you can do the front and the back. I just decided to do the front, and that is it. It's just a matter of making sure that you get the right template. Now I'm going to try and see if I find another template, because that one, like I said, the holes are a little bit different. That template is made for pen and gear, and we're using OfficeMax. So these holes are circles. All right. And our template, our holes were kind of like the oblong. They kind of go rounded corners. So that's why we had a bit of a challenge getting it back on there, but we did it. We got it, and everything lines up. You guys see that? It all lines up perfectly, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Now you can add words or whatever you want to. I just like mine with just the image for some reason. And this glitter cardstock, you're gonna get that nice um, kind of glossy effect without it being the glossy paper. Okay, because the glossy, normally those glossies, photo glossies, it's not going to be um thick enough. The one that I use from Epson, it's thick, but it's not thick like cardstock. It's not thick like this. Okay. So you want to get like a thicker cardstock. If you're doing these for kids, guys, just use regular cardstock because they're probably going to tear them up anyway. Um, so just use the regular cardstock. But this glitter cardstock is my favorite of all times. That's what I would highly recommend if you're going to do these notepads. And like I said, this Craft Creations, the holes are more kind of like oblong, if I'm saying that right, than oval. Okay. So you saw that I had to kind of play around with it. And even though everything lines up, the only thing that was kind of like thrown off was this last hole right here. Okay. So that one lined up, that one lined up, but this one, not so much. Okay. Um, and let me see. Yeah, it's not gonna make a difference if it's not gonna make a difference if I stopped the camera by accident. It's not gonna make a difference if I put a hole in that first piece of paper, because you would have to go through every piece of paper to get it, to get it lined up. All right. But there we have it, guys. Using a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 OfficeMax College Ruled Notepad. So you can do it on that. Like I said, I'll keep searching for templates. I may be able to use the template that I already have from the supplier that no longer has an Etsy store. I may be able to size that one to 8.5 by 11 and try it. I'm pretty sure it'll work just fine, but I'm trying to find one that you guys can purchase on Etsy. I just don't want to get in any trouble by passing on a template that someone didn't pay for, that I paid for. That's a conflict of interest, and I wouldn't want to sell something or have sold something and then have people just passing it around freely to other people. That's I don't operate like that. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and end this long video where y'all saw my struggles, and you saw that I got through my struggles, and you can get through your struggles too, guys. Don't give up, because these templates work. Some a little harder than others, but they do work. Okay, so at least I know this one works. I know if I was doing a notepad that had the oblong, I would use this template. But I wouldn't recommend this template for the pen and gear notepads, because the pen and gear notepads have circular oval shapes. All right. There's still 42 holes, but you may struggle a little bit. But like I said, you can get through it. You can get through anything. All right. If you guys are currently following me via Facebook, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support via Facebook. If you would like to join my Facebook group, Ken Doris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, then please look in the description. I have a link to my Facebook group that you can click on. Eventually, I'm going to close my Facebook group. I haven't decided on the number, so if you want to get in where you fit in, now's the time, because I could wake up tomorrow and my Facebook group is closed. So all you have to do is click that link, agree to the Facebook group rules, and you're in. Um, and then if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support via YouTube. I'm on my way to 14,000 subscribers, and be a part of the 14,000 guys so that, you'll get in before the 15,000. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. All right, guys. But if you're seeing my tutorials for the first time, I'm pretty sure I'm about 500 video tutorials on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for my Facebook group members, please, please, please like and share via YouTube, okay? Because that's where I get my monetary from, or where I'm monetized from, is from my YouTube channel, not Facebook. Maybe one day, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, all right, guys, you're gonna need needle nose and you're gonna need wire cutters for this project in addition to your image. Now, I don't know if I said it, but this image I created in Midjourney using the Discord server. So this is my own image that I created myself. Okay. Just like the previous images you saw me use on the notepads, I created those images in Midjourney using the Discord server. All right. All right, guys. Sorry this video took so long, but it was a struggle. So I wanted you guys to see my struggle. And and in between time, I love my apron. Y'all see it? Keep calm and craft on. Yes, that's what you got to do. When you get stuck, you got to keep calm, like I did, because I could took this thing, said, and threw it. Okay. But don't do that, guys. Go ahead and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You guys know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. All right. God bless. Bye.